is that time of the day again, people. I hope you've been having a fabulous week. If not, A Walk with Mal is here to enlighten your week. And today we've got a new chummy, we've got a new bra. He goes by the name of Anton Jeftha, all the way from United States of Cape Town. However, he's been doing amazing things in Los Angeles, and we are sitting down and having a chat about his journey as an actor and artist. Thank you so much for tuning in, people. It's Mal, yo pal, yo chummy, yo bra. Let's meet the guy. And we are out here, people. It is A Walk with Mal. We've got a brand new chummy and brand new bra. Anton, so cool to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
I mean, we're honored to have you, here with us. I know that you're visiting South Africa, even though you're born and bred here in Cape Town.
Yeah.
For the people that don't know, give us a bit of an introduction of your life growing up. Who you were, what kind of kid were you?
Naughty.
Naughty?
Baie stout.
Baie stout geweest?
Baie stout.
Yeah.
Yeah, super naughty. But I grew up in Belhar. Born and raised in Belhar. 3 sisters, loving parents, you know. And yeah, I think growing up in an environment like that is always fun.
It is.
Especially with like being an only boy and getting a lot of attention from the ladies, which
Love
is
it.
nice.
Amazing,
You know?
amazing.
And yeah, good childhood, good schooling. As I said, by a stout geweest, which is always fun.
Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah.
You experience life, man.
Yeah.
Where do you think, like, what ignited the fire of acting for you? Where did the love of acting start for you?
I think it's many things, you know. Like I think it started when I was probably my mother. I remember my mother took me to a show over here, which was then it wasn't the Artscape. It was called the Nico Milan.
Yes,
Do you remember that?
Yo.
Yeah, throwback. Yeah,
Yo.
I think she took me to Annie, the musical. This is a funny story actually because. Yeah, she took me to Annie, and I remember just falling in love with the whole thing, you know, the whole production.
Sure.
You know, like you see all these entertainers, these performers, these artists, the music, and you're 7 years old, so you're just mind blown by it. I think that was probably like the first bite of performing arts, I'd say, for me.
Amazing. And what was one of your inspirations when you were younger? Who? Is there any specific people that when you grew up and you were like, flip, I'm going to do this?
I would say my dad in many ways, because my father he'd baie karaoke gesing and so.
Was hy die culture?
Yeah, it's the culture.
Jy moet karaoke.
So he would like enter into a lot of competitions when we were kids, and he won a lot of them too. He's very good. He's a very good singer. He's a professional.
Lekker.
And yeah, so I would go. The whole family would always go with him and support him when he would sing and perform.
Amazing.
And I remember just like if it wasn't like doing that, he was also like a black belt karate kumite champion. So I remember just looking up to him and being like, you know, he's doing something different with his life. You know, he wasn't like my other uncles.
He didn't fit in.
He didn't quite fit in.
He did his own thing. And that's
actually very true. Yeah, he never like. My other uncles, they were very good guys, obviously and you know they held down their day jobs and they did well, but they were like into the dominoes and all of that
but
lifestyle.
He was the different one.
He was different.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at him and realizing the difference between him and my uncle. So yeah.
That is so
dope. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, shout out to Dad. Karaoke Dad.
Karaoke Dad, yeah.
Tell me about one of your first jobs or your first time stepping on set. What was that like?
It was nerve-wracking.
Obviously.
You know, I think you take it very seriously, you know, because when you want something bad enough, I think you just really, it's almost as if, looking back now, I wish I had not taken it so seriously because it's not that serious, you know, it should be fun and light. Yeah, you should play. So I remember just first starting off with doing extras work. Yeah, you start out as an extra. And the thing is, as extras, I watch them and they really give their all. You know, like the camera's not even on them, but it's almost they don't know. They're in character. You know, and ek het dit baie serious gevat. You know, like I'm just like in it as an extra, but then I always knew that I wanted more. You know, I was looking at the other actors who had lines. I was watching them and being like, wow, you know, like. That's what I actually want.
Amazing.
But my story actually goes back to way before that because I think what a lot of people don't know is I studied after high school. I actually have a degree in finance.
Sure.
So
Hashtag outshores was going over. Was going over. Like, wow.
So,
Wow.
So I went to the University of the Western Cape after high school.
Okay.
and I studied finance, BCom finance, and I got a degree in that. In my honors year of finance, I dropped out to pursue acting.
What?
Yeah.
But how? It's great that you don't know how to do finance because you are your own brand. You know what I mean? So it's important to understand how finance works, you know?
Yeah.
And then after that, just tell us more. You
And
went
then-
into acting.
Yeah, I went
Full
into...
time.
No, never.
Not?
Initially, it takes a while. I think you're a performer too, so
I
you
know.
understand it's a little bit of a build up to full time.
True. True.
Like after I dropped out of finance, I felt like I owed my parents also, like
Sure.
in a way, because I had to now, take care of myself.
Sure.
So after dropping out, I held down jobs as like a financial advisor.
Oh, wow.
I worked as an operations manager for a company.
Lekker.
All the while, like as soon as my boss left the building, I would run out of there, getting dressed on the N2, going to castings,
I.
like putting on
I
a
also
tie,
worked corporate
taking
and
off
did the same
clothes.
thing.
Yeah, every moment.
Hi,
Yeah,
I'm Melissa
exactly.
Taylor.
And
Got you.
you're overwhelmed because
Yes.
you're getting there, and it's like you're thinking about. You're gonna get into when you get back to the office. Is the boss
Because
gonna
you're stealing
be
their
back?
time.
You're stealing their time,
Yes.
which is like I wouldn't recommend it fully, but like
But obviously you
have to do what you had to
your
do.
dream, and that's the point.
Yeah, but I actually only became full time in Cape Town in 2012, I'd say.
2012?
2012, I lost my job
Sure.
and I had.
It's like you had no choice.
Yeah, and it was the first time me living on my own because I'd moved out of my parents' house.
Wow.
So I moved to Gardens,
Amazing.
and I think when you are forced to make something work, your hustle becomes so much more.
Got you.
Like
Got you.
I was then waking up at 5 a.m. to be in
What?
gym. I was looking after myself a lot
That's- and
more. I
that's
was going
very
to
important.
acting class. Yeah, you have to. It's like a holistic thing as a performer. And then I started finally, booking. At that time, I'd been doing it. Keep in mind for like 5-6 years almost.
Already? It's the same
With
for
maybe
me. Yeah.
5-6 years, or maybe booking 2 commercials.
Sure. Ik weet hoe
I was going to interviews, auditions, all of that. I wasn't
But you
booking
weren't getting it,
anything.
huh?
I wasn't
Same.
getting anything.
Tell a story.
It's a lot of disappointment,
Yes.
And you start learning how to live with the rejection and the disappointment.
And patience also.
And that you develop a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And then I think finally I would say, when I started booking a couple of global commercials like in
Amazing.
2012, and then I don't know if you want to get into
I
outsurance
want to actually
now.
back now in again because
Yeah.
outsurance is a major thing because I
Yeah.
mean people know you
Yeah.
from outsurance.
Yeah.
Hashtag gestudied in finance. In the acting combined
Yeah.
outsurance.
Yeah.
Love it. Tell us about that experience.
Well,
And
that-
outsurance is quite cool on TV. You see them all the time.
They're amazing, They, as you said, they punt their
Yes.
advertising. They put it in your face everywhere.
Yes.
They've got it on car guards and
Wow.
and they it's everywhere.
Do you think
Outsurance
that
is
was your
everywhere.
big break for yourself? Do you think?
I would say, in a way of like just getting my
Get
name
yourself
out
out
there
there,
and my
okay.
face out there.
Okay.
It's a pro and a con. I'll get to the con.
I get you.
It's a pro because financially it was good.
Amazing.
I was in everybody's faces
Got
morning
you.
and night.
Got you.
And initially I booked the commercial, and then I just thought, okay, cool, it was once off.
Yes, of
but
course,
then they
yeah.
had me back and to audition for one where they needed me to present.
Lovely.
And then I booked that, and then
Amazing.
after that it was just like direct bookings. Yo, Anton, we need you in Johannesburg for this week.
So
We
you were
need
like
you.
the face of
I was the
outsurance.
face of it for like
That
3 or
is
4 years.
beautiful.
And then even in my first year in LA, they would still fly me back to South Africa to keep
Are
doing.
you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I want to get to obviously LA, but
Yeah.
first just Zuidooster, your character there. Just give us a
Yeah.
bit of an idea
Well,
about that character, any similarities, and what was it like before we
Yeah.
take a break?
I actually had no idea how well Zuidooster was going to do.
Sure.
Before I left South Africa to move to LA, I was on the pilot of Zuidooster. We shot the pilot of the show, and because they wanted me and Irshad Ali to
Yes.
be twin brothers.
Yes, van ek I can see
van
that.
hy
Ek
speel
sien
mos
dit.
Riaz,
Ek sien hy.
Rafiq en ek speel Riaz.
Ons sien hy gesig,
Ja,
ja.
ja, dis 'n kaalkopper. So I left, and then 2 years into LA, they actually called me back and they flew me to Cape Town to be on the show for 6 weeks.
Wow.
And my character is still alive in the show. Like I'm currently in London. You know?
Hello, and I thank you.
Yeah, and
Hashtag jet
and I
setter.
thank thee.
Thank you. Yes. Lekker,
Yeah.
lekker,
So,
lekker. And
yeah,
what was it like
great
to obviously?
experience.
Is there any
Amazing.
similarities for you in the character with
Yes.
you and
Very much so.
very much so, yeah.
I think Riaz is like Rafiq plays a more like straight-laced
Yes.
good boy. And I've always been like naughty by nature. Like I've always been a bit of a rebel.
Yes.
I try and like control it
Yes.
and a little bit.
Get you.
But he's like more of the rebellious brother.
I got you.
The one that moved away.
Oh, okay.
The one that got involved in drugs. And I think he came out of it. He doesn't use it anymore.
Oh,
which is like me. About me. and then also at the time he was like a ladies man.
Sure.
Like not saying that is me, but
I get what you're saying, yeah. I got you, yeah.
But there was a lot of that in him. So I think there's a lot of similarities between the two of us.
Amazing. We're taking a quick break, people. Anton is in the building. We're going to speak about all things LA and what it's like being there and surviving over there, and the real truths about being an artist over there. So it's a walk with Mel. Taking a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Yay. And we are back, people. Anton Jeftha is in the building, and I mean, we've been having so much fun with you. If you just joined us, we know already the show repeat via Woensdag 11:30 AM on your favorite channel, Cape Town TV channel 263, and we're all about sharing journeys and touching lives. And you've been touching and inspiring me at the moment, like just speaking to you and listening to your journey. So shout out to you.
Thank you.
You moved to LA.
Yeah.
Why did you make that decision, moving, relocating? I mean, I think that's every actor's dream.
Yeah.
And then tell us about when you got there. Like, what was it like, the experience when you got there? When I mean, in Hollywood,
yeah. But the truth is, nothing can prepare you for Hollywood. For LA, it's like it's insane.
Sure.
It's a beast of a place.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take it back to why I went. I think initially when I started out in acting, all I wanted was to be on local television. Like I was working in like day jobs, and I would look up to people like like Kim Engelbrecht.
Yes.
She's a friend as well, and she lives in she's also from Bella. And I'd look at people who inspired me, who was on television. Local soap operas, I would have been totally happy with that at the time. I just wanted to perform and act.
Got you.
And then things evolved, and things, I think there were not a lot of roles, I think, or if we got roles, awesome answer. If we got roles, it was like a typecast.
Yeah, klar.
At the time, I remember being a little bit frustrated, and things are changing where I think we were just playing gangsters and playing...
And people see the gangsters
Yeah.
main
Yeah, so maybe I didn't look like gangster enough, but I wasn't really booking. But what I did find I was booking international shows.
Sure.
I had done...
So you had that look and you had
I think so, like
Yeah.
I must have been, because I was like,
Which is great.
wait a minute, what's going on? Like I'm not really working
Jy fokus op die
locally.
local, maar die mense
Yeah.
international is
One-
tevrede. Hulle
exactly,
wil nie.
all of us tevrede, yeah. So I was like, okay, cool, something must be there must be something there, because I was booking commercials at the time for Sweden, Canada, and the Netherlands, America,
Sure.
all of those type
That
of
is
global
beautiful.
campaigns, and then I finally booked Dominion, which 2 seasons on Dominion, which was a sci-fi show as one of the
Amazing.
supporting leads.
Love it.
And then I was on Homeland.
Alle goed wat ons kyk mense.
Yeah, and all these like international shows. So I was like, okay, cool. Maybe I should, go over there and see if I could take this a little bit further,
Amazing.
or at least up my game as an actor to be
Definitely, 'cause
surrounded
you
by the
grow.
best.
Got you. Because
So
oordai.
I wanted to learn from the best, and I think that was the best thing I could have done for myself,
Amazing,
because it's like
amazing.
the Olympics of acting out there.
Dit is.
You know,
Is regtig waar.
it's
Jy moet as 'n relay, jy moet jou
Yeah.
storie ken.
Yeah, jy moet jou storie ken, ja.
And then what do you think, what has this 4 years, you've been there for 4 years, what has it taught you as a person and actor so far?
Well, as I said, like since I've been there, I've been in acting class weekly.
Sure.
Like at least
Can respect that.
my US accent has gotten a lot
Yeah,
better.
I can hear that. Hey?
Yeah,
I
it's
can, yeah.
I mean, this isn't it.
Ja, nou is dat.
So imagine if I.
Meneer,
if
it's oor en uit.
it's
It's oor en uit. Hy rus weg.
Is weg,
Is weg.
weg.
I got you.
And
Yeah.
so I think it gave me a lot more confidence.
Yeah.
I think before I would step into rooms over here when I would audition, and I'd just be a nervous wreck. I would be sitting outside and just like full like insecure
Got you.
and nervous and not feeling like I'm good enough.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, it's all the feelings we feel, though.
All of those type of emotions would surface, and And since going abroad, and I think being in the presence of performers at the top of their game, and not only just acting, but just living life out there, you know, because it wasn't just acting in LA. Like I did every other type of survival job to get by. And
So it
I
wasn't
think you
just
want to get to
yes,
that
I want to
too.
get to speak to me about that.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Just to survive over there.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
what
I
did
was.
you have to do to stay consistent over there?
Well, when I left, I think I had a fairly comfortable life in Cape Town.
Okay.
I was, as I mentioned, I was the face of Outsurance.
Yes.
It was a steady gig. I was booking international things locally
Got
and other
you.
things. And when I went there, like one of my first jobs was packing boxes in a warehouse downtown LA, you know,
Bruh.
to survive. And then my next job after that was serving tables at
Sure.
Chin Chin, some restaurant, like an
Wow.
Asian restaurant. And then shortly after that, I was selling jewelry at Costco's around America.
Wow.
And then after that, I went back into serving, working for, I don't know if you know a show called Vanderpump Rules. That's for one of the housewives of Beverly Hills.
yes.
She has a restaurant in LA
And
called
thank
Pump.
you.
Yeah, so I was working there for a year and a half. And then lastly, my final day job was working as an executive personal assistant to an A-list celebrity.
Shoo.
But keep in
But I
mind,
mean, as
Yeah.
it's steps.
it's all
It's not
po-
just
it's levels.
boom,
There's
Hollywood,
levels to
yay,
this.
red
yeah.
carpet,
Yeah, it's a lot of steps. And what I had to keep in mind, like while all of this was going on, I had to, take care of myself, my body. I had to be in acting class.
mentally
I had to stay sane.
Yeah.
I had to keep auditioning, putting myself on tape, showing up, and it's not like this where auditions are like just a stone throw
That's the
away.
yellow.
It's like spread around town, and you don't know where anything is.
What?
So,
And
yeah.
also you're gonna feel you're gonna have to work harder almost.
You have
Want
to.
jy is nou nie van daar so you
Yeah.
wanna almost like
Stand
Stand
out.
just oral.
Yeah.
Yo, let's
Yeah.
speak about the films coming up
Well,
for 2020.
yeah, I just did a film in Sacramento, Chico, Sacramento, which is in Northern California.
Love it.
Called The Contrast, or The Contrast.
yeah.
You know, I was the supporting lead in
Love
that
it.
film. We finished it out there, and that's in post-production now.
Lovely.
I just actually, when I got home here, I auditioned 2 auditions for international film that we're shooting in Cape Town. That's
Lekker.
yeah, the first one did really well. This is the second one.
Amazing.
I can't really talk about it because I
Yeah, no,
signed
it's cool.
NDAs,
Yeah, no,
so I was on
keep
that.
that, it's fine.
And then I've got one lined up now that when I leave in March, I'm going to shoot in Georgia, Savannah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Because what a random
Cool.
name.
Yeah.
And upcoming that's coming out maybe this year. Is there any
Coming out
2020
this year.
coming out this year or not yet?
I
Any
think
upcoming projects?
the Contrast should come out this year.
Amazing.
The one that I'm going to shoot now in Savannah, it's called Comic Relief. That we're hoping would be ready for the Sundance Festival and festivals at the end of the year.
Lekker. Amazing.
And then I mean the thing is, like, I'm not opposed to even doing local things over here. You know, like if I've got a flight out at the end of March, but if something good comes along,
How do you do
I don't
that
mind
though?
changing it.
Because I know that you're obviously between Cape Town and LA. How do
Yeah.
you do that, and how important is it as an artist?
For me, it's exceptionally important. But because I feel like I have such a important role to play at home,
Sure.
I think that there's so much work to be done over here.
Yes.
And if I was just to like cut off my roots and where it all started, I think I'd be doing myself an injustice.
Sure.
And I wouldn't, because I feel like I think, there's a lot of work to be done here.
Yeah, I got you.
And it's a good industry and it's a growing industry. So my goal is to stay between the two. Like
Stunning.
even in 6 months LA, 6 months Cape Town.
Got you.
Yeah.
What have you missed from SA, like SAY vibes, being home? What have you missed?
The culture.
Mm.
The culture for sure. It's like there's a warmth here and like there's something in the air here, just
Yes.
like spiritually. I don't know
Sure.
how to even place it.
Ek verstaan.
That is just different, you know. It's like in America, it's just it somehow feels like a different planet.
Yes.
You feel like something's missing,
I get you.
you know. And it is my family for sure because I'm very family orientated and I've got, as I've mentioned, I've got my mom, my dad, my 3
Yes.
sisters, nieces,
Yeah.
nephews, all of that. So I miss them a lot, obviously, and I miss the food. The food is
Meneer is
the
real.
best over here.
Is
It's
real.
real. It's,
Yeah.
it's real. So that's what I miss for sure. And a little story, I think I mentioned this before on other interviews, but I just want to touch on it again. Like, you don't hear the accent, man. You don't hear like when I was on my way over here, I was in the plane with SAA flying from New York to Johannesburg.
Yes.
And I walked to ask this girl for a charger.
Ah.
and I haven't heard like also like
Yeah, Oospraat.
also
Yes,
accent in like a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, hi, can you get me a charger, please? And she's like, praat gou weer?
Wat? Net so?
Yeah. Praat gou weer. And I started laughing. I was like, okay, I see what's happening.
I'm
like,
coming
kan
home.
ek 'n charger kry asseblief? She's
a
like,
charger.
she's like, Menta ko luister gou hier. And she called her friend
There's always a
also.
Menta.
And we always. And then we ended up talking on the plane for like an
Oh
hour.
my gosh.
Just like talking, me, her, and Menta staan ook daar.
Menta
en
is ook in die game.
Sy is ook in die game.
Menta is
en-
supporting lead.
Yeah, supporting me.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's you know what, it's those little things, man.
Sure.
You hear that and you're just like, wow.
Yo, ek
like,
miss
you don't get that anywhere else in the
Yeah,
world.
really last 2 questions.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying just speaking and getting the information from you. What's social media? Where can people catch you? And what advice would you give to your younger self?
Wow. Well, at Anton Jeftha, plain Jeftha.
Got you. Social media. That's Facebook and
That's-
Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram,
Lekker.
all of that.
And then advice to your younger self. Wat advies sal jy vir die jonger Anton gee? Anton.
This is an interesting question because I think sometimes when I look back at like younger me, you know, I love children. You know, I look at my nieces and my nephews and I flow them a lot of like validation.
Yes.
You know, anything that they do good, I blow it up. You know, I make it the biggest deal. Any good
So
thing that
want
they
them to
do.
feel confident
Yeah,
about themselves.
confidence, because
Yes.
that's something that I struggled with growing
Sure.
up. So sometimes, and if I have that amount of love for them right now, I wish that somebody had that for me back then. So I wish that I could go back just
Well
in my
said.
mind and just like and flow that same amount of love that I'm doing to my nieces and nephews now to that boy, because I feel like he needed it.
That's a unique antwoord. Ek
You
het nog
know?
nooit so 'n antwoord gekry
Yeah,
nie.
that's
We've
a-
asked that many times and that's the most
Yeah.
unique one.
Thank you.
Last one, what would you want people to take away from your performances when you are playing a character? What would you want people to take away from it?
I want them to see something in themselves in it.
Sure.
Like to resonate with it a little bit and just be like, wow, okay, cool, like I can see that. I know someone like that.
Sure.
You know? So that could just to be connected to it a little bit.
I got you.
Yeah,
Lekker
yeah.
Anton in the
Yeah.
building. People,
Yeah.
please check him out on all social media platforms. Check us out on social media. Smell Your Pal on Facebook and Melrock Lizzo on Instagram, people. It's a fabulous day with a fabulous Anton. Wishing
Thank
you all
you.
of the best,
Thank
man,
you
and we
so much.
support
Same
you.
to you.
All
Yeah.
the best.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for tuning in, people.
Thanks.